What's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. New video. So this is a recap of the video I did last night on Danny Trejo. I did the video. I had some fun, clowning around, and I seriously thought about taking the video down last night, and I'm gonna tell you why. I saw that Danny Trejo spoke about it with TMZ. And as I said before, Danny Trejo is actually a good dude. He does a lot for the prison population. And, even though I was clowning in the video, it wasn't clowning him personally. It's obvious if you watch the video, the dude kicked him in his leg and kind of threw a punch and he fell off the curb. I was clowning more that people in their 70s. Turns out Danny's in his 80s. That generation right there, 70s and 80s, chinga. They think they could beat everybody up still. And they'll try, right? But what made me really consider taking the video down last night was that Danny and his homeboy were saying that they felt targeted, that they felt it was a racially motivated attack. And Danny explained that when the balloon hit the car, that somebody said, hey, there's acid in it. Probably clowning around some idiot, right? So he jumped out of the car. I mean, that's a Lolo. They put a lot of money into that. And then he jumped out of the car, another balloon hit his shoulder, right? And he's hearing there's acid in it, right? So that's what compelled him to get out of the car. But more than that was that people immediately were saying, oh, it's a bunch of skinheads. That's when I was like, I don't want to be a part of putting a video out and it seems as though I'm making fun of my own raza for the benefit of skinheads. But I hesitated for a minute because I personally have never seen skinheads target Mexicans. And I was like, that was in the Valle. That was in the valley, right? Like, I said, you know what? Before I do it, have a knee-jerk reaction, let me just wait a minute, right? And then I got a comment from someone who was actually claiming to be there and witnessed the entire thing. And actually says that he has a barbershop in the area and that the person who got into it with the person that was on the other end of it, not Danny Trejo and his homeboy, but on the other end, he said that dude is very quiet, like he knows him. And he spoke of him, and there was no mention of skinheads or any white supremacy or anything like that. And I can't say that it was or wasn't racially motivated. I do think that it was the responsibility of whoever organizes this parade. It was the responsibility of theirs to inform Danny Trejo and whoever was with him. Hey, they do have the water war. It's a water war zone, I think is what they called it, right? They did have a responsibility to say, hey, I don't know what kind of car you plan on bringing, but, there is, this tradition here. And give them that option. But like the person that said that they were there actually said was, I'm sure they didn't let him know because they wanted a celebrity there. And Danny Trejo probably would have been like, nah, hold up. I'm not going to have, people throwing water balloons at my lowrider. Danny Trejo took responsibility for his actions as far as getting out of the car. And that's important for us. Excuse me. I've told a story how when I first got out, I had been out less than 3 months, man, and a car cut me off right at a stoplight. And we were stopped. He was the first car at the stoplight. I was the second car, and he cut me off to get in front of me. And I was pissed. It pissed me off that he did that. Could have hit me, right? I wanted to get out of the car. I put my hand on the door, and I was gonna open the door, and clear as day, I was still fresh out. So all the self-help that I had been utilizing in prison, it was there, And a voice clear as day said in my head, if you get out of the car, you lose control of the situation. Because if I step out, my intention could be to just go over there and tell me, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? You almost hit my fucking car. But what's his intentions if I walk up on him? Does he have a weapon? Is he willing to use it? Is he going to get out of the car and we're going to be fighting? I have a history of violence. Just did over 20 years in prison. Who's the judge going to believe? Who the cop's going to believe? Who's the DA going to believe, right? So when Danny Trejo said, that he takes responsibility for whatever, Danny Trejo, I don't know if a lot of you guys know this. And when I talked in the video about me watching him and that he was jumping up and down on his bunk in his cell, like, let me clarify for you guys. There's a lot of the institutions in the California Department of Corrections, they'll play like self-help videos or stuff like that, right? Danny Trejo has done a lot of videos. He's done like AA videos, and part of it is he talks about one day he was in prison. I want to say he was in San Quentin, and he started jumping up and down on his cell, and he was singing one of these songs, and I want to say it was like a Disney song. I'm not sure. And that people around him thought he was going crazy, but he wasn't, right? And that's what I was talking about. So that's why I say he does it. Like, he goes into prisons, but he also has videos that people watch. And so for me, seeing him, he hasn't been in prison in decades, man. Probably longer than I've been alive. No, he's 80. I think he got out in his 30s. I'm 50, right? But he still knows. It's still in his head where, hey, you know what? Whatever they did, I'm responsible for getting out of that car. That's a great thing, man, for him to hold himself accountable for that. At the same time, one thing that I think we can all agree on, whether, I felt like initially when I first saw the video, I was like, man, who in the fuck fights somebody that age, eh? Especially if you're young. If anything, you tell me, almost bring your fucking son over here. I want somebody my age over here and I'll get down with them, right? If you're really that mad. And I said, then I saw the other angle and I saw where Danny threw water. And then I was like, okay, that's enough to trigger somebody. But the truth is, even having water thrown out on you after you just threw a balloon, like, how do you still overlook, like, this is an older cat. Like, understand why he's mad. He's got a car worth probably $150,000, $200,000 after all the stuff, the work he's put in, and you just threw water on it. Like, I don't know. I always try to find a lesson in everything. I could find a lesson in that and then find a lesson in the way that I recorded the video. I need to be, now don't get me wrong. Any video that I put out, there are people offended. I can't worry about whose feelings get hurt if I'm trying to get a message across. Last night, honestly, it was more like, how is somebody going to fire on somebody that age? And I'll take it to the bank where Danny Trejo is an older gentleman. I would put my money on Danny Trejo in a fight with that dude who was probably in his 30s. I would put my money on Danny Trejo. Danny Trejo is an old boxer. You see he slipped the first, I think, one or two, and then he fell off the curb. So obviously he saw him coming. He was able to get out the way of him. If he wanted to go there, I think he could have. But like I said in the other video, I think he, as angry as he was, knew, if I knock this dude out, I'm gonna get sued. Anyways, I don't wanna talk all day about it. For those that anyways, I'm not even gonna address it. hopefully everybody learned a lesson. I'll probably be doing another video later today. Maybe going live with Gunner. I don't know yet. I don't know what's in store. But everybody, please be safe, be smart, and tell the ones you love that you love them. I'm out of here.